You walk into the gun shop and the cash registers are gossiping. Patterns emerge when you watch what people actually buy. In 2025, the market didn't whisper, it shouted. 7 rifles rose above the rest, not because of hype, but because shooters voted with their wallets. Some choices lean hard on nostalgic muscle, others are pure engineering answers to modern problems. I've tracked the sales, the back orders, and the range floor chatter. What you're about to hear is not marketing copy. It's what American shooters brought home, put in safes, and planned trips around. Start by picturing the lever gun renaissance. At number 7, we find Henry's Big Boy and the Sidegate models. These aren't fragile museum pieces. They're lever rifles, built to be handled, hammered, and run hard. The action cycle's clean. Triggers break crisp. Walnut and blued steel still deliver that old-school profile, but these rifles were engineered for temperament as much as for looks. The brass-framed Big Boy, chambered in .44, Magnum hits a particular nerve, a golden receiver that looks like dinner plate chrome and a cartridge that hits like conviction. Practically speaking, the Sidegate loading system is a quality-of-life upgrade, top off the tube without fumbling with the carrier, fit and finish sit near the top of the production lever ladder. They ship with a lifetime warranty, they're made in the US, and they wear their heritage proudly. Downsides? Expect weights pushing into the 8 to 12 pound neighborhood, and brass receivers demand care if you want mirror shine. There's no factory threading on barrels, so suppressor users either accept that or go custom. Prices start around $899 and climb into the $1,299 range on fancier trims. At number 6, the Marlin Model 1895 returned to the field under new stewardship and serious expectations. The Model 1895 is tank tough, the kind of rifle guides and backcountry hunters trust when conditions turn ugly. Chamberings like 30-030 Winchester and 45-70 government give it stopping power that actually matters when you're hunting or hauling loads. Ruger's quality control tightened up the production so you get more consistent performance out of the box, and side ejection makes optics mounting dead simple. The retro feel remains, but Ruger added contemporary touches, crossbolt safety, and all-steel receivers that feel immovable when shouldered. The dark-coated variants can show wear in heavy use, and availability sometimes lags demand. The entry models start near $949, with some classic trims and stainless showpieces pushing higher. Number 5 is a family, not a single rifle, the Ruger American Series. This lineup has quietly dominated bolt-action sales for years because it covers almost every role an owner might ask. Predator rigs, target rigs, long-range shooters, there's a Ruger American built for the job. Expect cold hammer-forged barrels, a 3-lug bolt with a short 70-degree throw for fast follow-ups, the Ruger Marksman trigger that adjusts without a gunsmith, and a stout bedding system locking the action in tight. For the money, accuracy is the headline. Entry-level synthetic stocks feel budget-minded, and some factory triggers come heavy out of the box, but base models begin around $499, while Predator and long-range trims move closer to $799. Which of these 3 picks tells you where the market's heart lies? Keep listening, the list only gets hotter. Number 4 on the chart is a quiet assassin, the Tikka T3X family. Don't confuse respectful affordability with weakness. These rifles arrive on range day, ready to run, bolt smooth as glass, barrels that hold tiny groups, and ergonomics tuned. For people who actually hunt or compete, the ultralight variants are the ones that grabbed headlines. Imagine a stainless fluted barrel, a tough black synthetic stock, and a rifle that tips the scales under 6 pounds before you slap an optic on it. That's a whole different class of carry for mountain trips and long hikes. What makes the T3X so strangely persuasive is the bolt throw. It's buttery and short right from the factory, and that translates into faster follow-ups when targets move or elk execute last-second evasive maneuvers. The factory single-stage trigger is crisp and set with real attention to break, not the mushy trigger you get on some budget imports. Consistency, you'll see repeatable sub-minute of angle performance across the line if you feed it good ammo. Build quality holds up when the mercury drops and gear gets brittle, which matters when the hunt moves into cold weather and mistakes get expensive. There are limits, because nothing is free. Aftermarket depth is thinner than the old Remington and Savage ecosystem, so you'll hunt harder for chassis parts, and the proprietary magazines carry a premium. Polymer magazine and trigger guard assemblies are common on certain trims, and if you do a lot of rapid strings, those lightweight barrels will cook quicker than a heavy contour target tube. Left-handed shooters also find their options narrower depending on model, but the price to performance ratio is the headline. Lightweight synthetics start around $699, while the high-end compact tactical offerings can climb toward $1,799. For people who want precision without debt, the T3X keeps demanding respect. Number 3, Kel-Tec Sub2000 Gen 3, a short-packed surprise. Sliding into the bronze slot is a platform that lives in backpacks and glove compartments, the Kel-Tec Sub2000 Gen 3. This is pocket-vanishing engineering, a pistol-caliber carbine that folds nearly in half and still shoots when you need it. The straight blowback action is simple by design. The folding hinge at the receiver cuts the rifle's length, and folded it slips into tight spaces under 16.5 inches. That portability is a feature, not a compromise, and Kel-Tec fixed the old nagging complaint with the Gen 3 by adding a rotating forend that lets you mount optics without fighting the folding mechanism. Magazine compatibility is the ace up its sleeve. Variants accept Glock magazines, Smith & Wesson mags, SIG mags, Beretta, or CZ magazines, depending on pattern. That interoperability turns a single platform into a Swiss Army of mag options in a crisis. Adjustable stocks, AR-style pistol grip swaps, and tool-free breakdown ability make it a natural for vehicle kits and bug-out packs. Downsides are obvious. The inline stock geometry can feel alien on the shoulder. Polymer-heavy construction raises questions under very high round counts. And ballistics don't suddenly become rifle grade just because the tube is longer. Effective range beyond 100 yards drops off quickly. MSRP sits near $599, and street prices typically float between $649 and $699 depending on mag pattern and demand. Number 2, SIG MCX. Modular, piston-driven, and officially noticed. The runner-up is a shape-shifting tactical family, the SIG MCX line. This platform stopped being background noise when a military adoption nudged the spotlight. The MCX isn't an AR clone. It purposely abandons the buffer tube and embraces a short-stroke gas piston that lets the stock fold and still function. Controls are ambidextrous. Barrels and bolts swap to change calibers, and modularity is not a buzzword, it's the design brief. You can run 5.56 NATO, 300 blackout, 762 by 39, or the new 6.8 by 51 conversion kits when mission dictates. What sells the MCX is flexibility and suppression friendliness. An adjustable gas block plus piston operation makes running suppressed cleaner and less corrosive to shooters' faces than direct impingement alternatives, but the price is far from friendly. SIG's premium machining and some proprietary parts push cost and weight above average AR builds. Early production spring issues showed up, but were corrected. Aftermarket support leans heavy on SIG's catalog. The Virtus Patrol sits near $1,999. Rattler variants around $2,499. And top-shelf Spear LT models climb toward $3,499 depending on configuration. Keep your eyes peeled. The #1 rifle rewrites how Americans train, save ammunition, and teach the next generation. What could outsell everything else by a mile? Ruger 1022Y, a rimfire, still rules the roost. When everything on the shelf screams high-tech and high dollar, one rifle quietly outsold them all. The Ruger 1022 didn't win this race because of hype or fashion. It won because it answers the most brutal market question: what gets used the most? For decades, American shooters have relied on a light, affordable, reliable rimfire to teach kids, run drills, and empty mags between serious practice sessions. The 1022 is that rifle, and in 2025, it didn't just survive, it dominated. Think about a gun you can hand to someone on their first trip to the range and not worry about it coming back with a broken ego. The 1022 is that gun. its takedown variants vanish into backpacks. Its competition models have adjustable combs and barrels that will hold groups good enough to embarrass many centerfire rigs. Third-party support here is a deep ocean, not a pond. If you want an upgraded stock, precision barrel, threaded muzzle, suppressor-ready bolt, or a trigger that breaks like glass, some aftermarket house makes it, and they've been doing it for years. That ecosystem turns a basic trainer into a tailored tool for any mission. Practical economics matter. Feeding a 1022 costs pennies compared to centerfire practice. That cheap cost training loop changes behavior. People shoot more, learn faster, and that directly feeds the rest of the firearms market. You can spend the same dollars shooting 1,000 rounds through a rimfire versus a few dozen centerfire rounds. That's practice minutes, trigger time, and confidence that transfer straight to defensive pistols and precision rifles. Those are the invisible metrics manufacturers watch when they decide what to build next. Mechanically, the rotary magazine is a revelation. Where other rimfires choke, the 1022's rotary feed keeps the rounds in line and the gun running smooth under high-volume use. Field stripping is simple enough to teach to a teenager. The platform tolerates a wide range of factory ammo without the feeding tantrums that haunt lesser designs. That reliability at low cost is a utility argument wrapped in a nostalgic bow, and Americans love utility that respects tradition